Working with a recruiter can be great. In fact, working with a great recruiter can really help you land your next job. But there are things you should never say to a recruiter. In this video, I'm going to give you 5 things that you should never say to a recruiter. Let's go. Now, the first thing you should never say to a recruiter are the words, "I am desperate." Now, the reality is sometimes we are desperate for a job, right? We're desperate because maybe we're unemployed, or we're desperate because we hate where we're currently working and we want to get out and get into a new opportunity. But here's the reality. The way the industry works is, as a recruiter, we represent the client, not necessarily the candidate. So some recruiters, when you tell them, "I am really desperate," what they hear is, okay, this is someone who is willing to maybe take an offer that is lower. So when they go back and they talk to their clients, and the client's like, "We really like this candidate. What are they looking for salary-wise?" The recruiter, they might go, "Well, they said they're looking for this number to this number, but they also mentioned they're really desperate, so I think you can get them for this number." Literally saying the words, "I am really desperate," might cost you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 in your offer. Never say that to a recruiter. The next thing you should never say to a recruiter is, "Did you even read my resume?" Now, why would you say this? So let's just say a recruiter reaches out to you, you're having a first conversation, and they ask you a question that is obvious. Like, obviously, if the recruiter read your resume, they should have this information. Now, some of you are probably watching this and be like, "Well, Ben, they should be prepared." I agree. But what is the outcome you're trying to achieve? The outcome you're trying to achieve is that you have a good relationship with a recruiter, they like you, so they'll put you in front of their best clients. And by saying something like, "Well, did you even look at my resume?" You're not helping yourself. You're not moving yourself towards the goal of building a good relationship with the recruiter so that you can end up interviewing with their best clients and them helping you secure interviews and ultimately a job. Even though the recruiter should definitely look at your resume. And if they're not doing it, maybe it's a sign that that's not a good recruiter and you shouldn't be working with them, and instead you should be working with somebody else. It doesn't help you to say something like that. So even if they say something that is super obvious and they should definitely know, don't ask them if they've looked at your resume. The next thing you should never say to a recruiter is, "I hate my boss and my team," or "I hate my team," or "I hate my company." Look, here's a reality. One of the biggest red flags for a candidate who is interviewing is to express that they don't like their current boss, they're unhappy with their team, they don't like their current company. The reality is, a lot of the times, maybe you're not happy for a good reason and your company truly is at fault. But whenever you're being interviewed, part of the concern is it the company or is it the candidate? Maybe they're the problem. So it doesn't help you. It literally never helps you to complain about your current company, your current boss, or your current team. It is always going to make them wonder, which person is actually the problem here? That doesn't help you. Now, sometimes people think, "Well, I'm working with a recruiter, Ben. It's okay if I tell them. I just won't tell the company and the hiring manager or the HR person in my interview. So it's okay." Not okay. It's actually not okay, because that recruiter, once again, works for the company. And if you're telling them, "Yeah, I hate my boss is a jerk, that's part of the reason I want to get out of here, Ben," they might go to the company and go, "Hey, I really liked this candidate, but my one concern is they talked a lot of smack about their current boss, and it's a bit of a yellow flag for me," and that might actually hurt you and make you end up being a second or third place candidate instead of getting an offer. So never say that to a recruiter. Hey, if you were finding value in this video, do me a favor, hit that like button. It is free. Hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you never miss one of my 3 free weekly videos that are all designed to help you nail your next interview and help you advance in your career. The next thing that you never want to say to a recruiter is, "I am just casually looking." Now, a lot of people say that because they're trying to establish leverage, right? You're doing the opposite of that first thing I said, which is saying you're desperate. This is, "Hey, Ben, I'm just casually looking. If they blow me away, perhaps I will accept it." But what the recruiter hears when you say, "I'm just casually looking," they hear, "This is not a serious candidate. And if I put them in front of my client, they might not take it seriously. They might not accept an offer. I might be wasting my client's time." And as a recruiter, if you waste your client's time, your client might not be your client for much longer, because they don't want to work with a recruiter who is sending people forth who aren't really serious. So never say that to a recruiter. The next thing that you should never say to a recruiter is, "This is the only job I am entertaining." Now, I get what you're all saying when you're trying to say that, right? You're just saying, "Ben, I am really interested in this job. It is a priority for me and I'm focused on it. And that is nice. But what you're doing there is you're also letting them know, hey, this is the only game in town. They don't have to give me their best offer. This is all I'm looking at. So even though you're trying to let them know that it's a focus and you're a serious candidate, you might also be eroding your leverage to get the best offer possible. And you don't want to do that. So if they say to you, Ben, what are the other companies you're currently interviewing? Or how does this compare to the other companies you're currently interviewing with? Don't say this is the only company. You can say, you know what, this is a company I'm really interested in. There's been a few other recruiters who have reached out to me, but right now I am focused on this. I think this is a really great opportunity. I'm very interested in learning more. And what you're doing there is you're emphasizing you are interested, but you're also letting them know, hey, I've got other things going on. And while I'm not seriously pursuing them necessarily, they're still going to need to provide me with the best possible offer, or I am not going to accept. Now this video's done, but I want you to watch this one because this one is part 2. It is 5 more things you should never say to a recruiter. You're probably sitting there thinking, those are 5 good things. Amazing. Wait a minute, there are 5 more? Yes, they are, right here. If you watch this video, you can go watch those 5 right now. I will see you over there.